Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lynn. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. The 18th Lok Sabha will begin its first sitting on Monday with members taking oath over the next 2 days. The Speaker's election and the President's address to the joint sitting will be the highlight of this session. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar visits the Baps Hindu Temple in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. Jaishankar to hold talks with his counterpart Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. In the UK, hundreds of passengers are stranded at Manchester Airport as a power cut has caused flight cancellations and severe delays. Switzerland to face Germany in the UEFA Euro 2024 tonight. Switzerland looks to book their place in the round of 16 of the competition. The first session of the 18th Lok Sabha, the lower house of India's parliament, will begin on Monday after the formation of the new government. And during the session, the oath and affirmation of the newly elected members will take place. The senior BJP MP, Bhartrihari Mehtab, who has been appointed as the pro tem speaker, will administer the oath to the newly elected Lok Sabha MPs. The election of the new speaker for the lower house will be held on the 26th of June. The session of the upper house will commence on the 27th of June. India's President Draupadi Murmu will address a joint sitting of both houses of India's parliament on the 27th of June. The parliament session will conclude on the 3rd of next month. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has arrived in the United Arab Emirates on Sunday. During this official visit, the EAM will hold a meeting with his UAE counterpart Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan on wide-ranging issues of the partnership. The visit will provide an opportunity to review the entire spectrum of comprehensive strategic partnership between India and the UAE and regional and global developments. India's External Affairs Minister Jaishankar paid a visit to the Butcha Swami Akshar Purushottam Swaminarayan Sanstha or BAPS temple in Abu Dhabi on Sunday. The Swaminarayan temple was inaugurated by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi in February of this year. The temple is the first Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. The BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha is a spiritual volunteer-driven fellowship which is dedicated to improving society through individual growth by fostering the Hindu values of faith, service and global harmony. And today marks the 39th anniversary of the Kanishka bombing attack on the Air India Flight 182 that claimed the lives of 329 people in 1985. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar paid tribute to the victims. He said, and I quote, "Today marks the 39th anniversary of one of the worst acts of terrorism in history. Paid my homage to the memory of the 329 victims of AI 182 Kanishka who were killed on this day in 1985. My thoughts are with their families. The anniversary is a reminder why terrorism should never be tolerated." India's Union Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gas, Hardeep Singh Puri, also paid homage to the 329 victims of the Air India Kanishka Flight 182. Minister Puri said on social media, and I quote, "This dastardly bombing on the 23rd of June 1985 remains one of the most reprehensible acts of terror committed against India. Actions anchored in such extremism have no place in a sane and civilized world. Unfortunately, the systems and mindsets that condoned Kanishka bombing and subsequent acts of terrorism continue to find forces and sympathizers violating international norms and commitments to combat violent extremism and terrorism. In a big win against the left-wing extremism in Sukma district of Chhattisgarh, the authorities have made a major recovery. For the first time, the Chhattisgarh police have seized currency printers, ink and notes of several denominations from Maoists. Extensive security operations in the region indicate that the Maoist cash flow is linked to the use and circulation of counterfeit currency in local markets. The police search team also confiscated firearms, wireless communication sets, magazine pouches, and a significant quantity of explosive materials. The UGC chairman, M. Jagdish Kumar, has welcomed the government's intervention on reforming the National Testing Agency or the NTA by way of a high-level committee.
गवर्नमेंट ने एक हाई लेवल एक्सपर्ट कमेटी को भी फॉर्म किया। एनटीए को कैसा रीस्ट्रक्चर करना, इसका फंक्शनिंग को रीस्ट्रक्चर करना, और दूसरा ये पूरा प्रोसेसेस जो होता है एग्जामिनेशन कंडक्ट करने में, ये प्रोसेसेस और डेटा सिक्योरिटी प्रोटोकॉल्स, ये सभी विषयों में एक कमेटी ने रिकमेंडेशंस देगा सो दैट आगे दिनों में जब हम एग्जामिनेशंस कंडक्ट करते हैं, एग्जामिनेशंस फेयर, ट्रांसपेरेंट और क्रेडिबल रहेगा।
Professor Govindan Rangarajan, who is the director of India's premier science education institution, the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru, also expressed optimism that the measures taken by the government to reform the NTA will go a long way in making the exams credible, transparent and fair, and appealed to everyone to be patient.
Since this is an issue which affects lakhs of students, a very thorough investigation into the matter is required before an informed decision can be taken. Unfortunately, overnight solutions are not possible in such complex cases. The government has already formed a high-level committee headed by a very respected scientist, Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was the previous chairman of ISRO, who's very eminently suitable for looking at complex issues, having faced such problems in ISRO. So that committee will give its report in 2 months. Further, CBI is inquiring into the matter. The Supreme Court is also seized of this matter. So let's wait for all the inputs to come. I think we need to have patience when dealing with such complex issues. I think once all these come, definitely a very good solution can be found so that such problems don't recur again.
The Vice Chancellor of India's premier central university, the Delhi University, Professor Yogesh Singh, has also expressed hope that the steps by government in the light of the paper leak of the NEET exams, and he's also assured students that their interest will be foremost and that they should not feel disheartened.
संभव स्टेप्स हैं वो ले रहे हैं ताकि विद्यार्थियों के बीच में जो अविश्वास का माहौल पैदा हुआ है वो दूर हो। और मैं आपके माध्यम से भी कहना चाहूँगा हमारे जो बच्चे इसमें अपीयर हुए स्टूडेंट्स, उनको भी एक भरोसा रखना चाहिए सिस्टम के ऊपर, क्योंकि शिक्षा मंत्रालय जहाँ से भी जैसे पॉसिबल है वो सारे स्टेप तो ले ही रहा है, साथ में ये इंश्योर करेगा, सुनिश्चित करेगा कि आपके भविष्य के साथ कोई भी खिलवाड़ न हो।
In the latest in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, 2 people, including a 2-year-old child, were killed in Sevastopol by a Ukrainian missile attack on Sunday, while 22 people suffered injuries of varying severity. In the Belgorod region, 1 person was killed and 3 injured after Ukraine launched several drones in the Russian town of Gravoran. The Russian guided bombs struck an apartment building in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, on Saturday, killing at least 3 people and injuring 29. The incident prompted the President, Volodymyr Zelensky, to call for more help from Kiev's allies. Mayor Ihor Terekhov said that there had been 4 strikes and residents had to run for safety from the site of the destroyed apartment building on hearing explosions after the initial strike. Kharkiv lies about 30 kilometers from the border with Russia, and the city of about 1.3 million people has frequently been targeted in Russian attacks during the nearly 28 months of this war. And DD India correspondent Dasha Chernyshova sent us this report from Moscow.
Both sides rely on the military power, on the military might, in order to ensure the outcomes of what Russia has described as a special military operation in Ukraine. We've heard that the Ukrainian drone attacks against the targets inside Russia have intensified over the course over the past months, and now this summer we are seeing more and more of those drone attacks. And most recently we've heard that at least 2 civilians died in Russia's Sevastopol, that is in the Crimea. One of them is a 2-year-old child, and the death toll is certainly from those drone strikes is a constant reminder that the operation is ongoing and that Russia needs to protect its airspace from the threats coming from the Ukrainian side. That's the understanding here in Russia. The Russian Foreign Ministry most recently also issued a statement saying that Russia will take all the necessary measures to deprive the authorities in Kiev of the opportunity to deliver strikes on the energy facilities in Russia. That's according to Maria Zakharova, the spokesperson for the Russian Foreign Ministry, when she was commenting on the Ukrainian attacks against the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. So it doesn't seem to be the case that either of the sides is willing to back down and to start the negotiating process, even though Russia has said that it is willing to get back to the negotiating table. But again, provided that the Ukrainian troops withdraw from the 4 regions that Russia now claims as its own. The Ukrainian side has said that it is not going to happen because they say they will fight until they actually get the Russian troops out from those regions. So the prospect for this conflict so far seems to be only the escalation on the battlefield, with both sides fighting as long as they have the weapons.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that Russia had deployed more than 2,400 guided bombs on Ukraine this month, with about 700 used on Kharkiv. Speaking in his nightly video address, Zelensky also called on Ukraine's Western allies to deliver promised military aid packages without delay. Russian guided bombs shattered an apartment building in Kharkiv on Saturday, killing 3 people and prompting Zelensky to call for more help to deal with the growing threat of such weapons.
Just since the beginning of this June, Russians have used more than 2,400 guided aerial bombs on Ukraine, including about 700 on the Kharkiv region, on oppositions, on our cities and communities in the Kharkiv region. Russian strikes are also carried out in the Donetsk region and all other frontline and border regions daily. Ukraine needs the necessary forces and means to destroy the carriers of these guided aerial bombs, including Russian combat aviation, wherever it is. The step is needed. I am grateful to all partners, grateful to America for the strong decisions that helps us stabilize the situation in the Kharkiv region's border area. We gained the ability to destroy Russian missile launchers near the border and concentrations of Russian occupiers.
Some news from the United States. Well, Donald Trump has urged Christians on Saturday to vote en masse or in large numbers for him in November, vowing to aggressively protect their religious freedom if he is elected. Speaking at an event organized by the Faith and Freedom Coalition in Washington, the former president reiterated his position that abortion restrictions should be decided by voters on a state-by-state basis. The stance contradicts the view of most conservative Christians, and Trump's reticence to push for or even discuss additional federal regulations speaks to how sensitive the issue has become for the Republicans. Trump has repeatedly said that Republicans risk electoral defeat if they take too stringent a line on abortion rights.
The evangelicals and the Christians, they don't vote as much as they should. I don't know if you know that, you know? They go to church every Sunday, but they don't vote. And we have to make sure they vote just this time, because all you have to do is this time. You don't have to worry about it, because we're going to straighten it out very fast, just this time. And I will shut down the Federal Department of Education, and we will move everything back to the states where it belongs and where they can individualize education and do it with the love for their children.
What's still to come here on DD India Live? The German economy minister visits Alibaba Jaishankar University on a Chinese trip. The US Central Command has destroyed 3 Houthi uncrewed surface vessels in the Red Sea. The Argentinian president, Javier Milei, has made his first official visit to Berlin since being elected as the president last year. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lin. Germany's economy minister Robert Habeck visited the BMW Research and Development Center in Shanghai on Sunday. Habeck's visit to this place is the first by a senior European official since Brussels had proposed hefty duties on imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles to combat what the EU considers excessive subsidies. Now, flights at UK's Manchester airport were delayed or they were cancelled on Sunday because of a major power cut, and that caused disruptions. A media report says that an issue with the power supply affected the airport and a number of other buildings. The power has since been restored, but the impact is going to be felt for some time. Argentine President Javier Milei was received by the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz in Berlin on Sunday for what was called a working visit. Now, Sunday's trip to Berlin is Milei's first, in fact, official visit since he was elected as the president last year. Outside Berlin's Chancery, about 24 protesters also chanted anti-Milei slogans in Spanish. According to the media, Scholz and Milei, they had a one-hour meeting, and they are likely to have discussed energy issues, also Mercosur, the South American trade bloc, which Brazil's President Lula da Silva wants to reach a deal with the European Union. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday said that he was hopeful that the arms delivery dispute with the United States will be resolved soon. He was speaking at his weekly cabinet meeting. In a video message last week, Netanyahu accused the U.S. of withholding weapons and ammunition from Israel.
I highly appreciate President Biden's and the U.S. administration's support of Israel. Since the beginning of the war, the U.S. supplied us with a very important support both in spirit and material with defensive and offensive means. But about 4 months ago, there has been a dramatic decline in arms supply from the U.S. to Israel. Over long weeks, we have turned to our American friends with a request to speed up deliveries.
Netanyahu's remarks came as Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has left for Washington to meet with the top U.S. officials on the conflict in Gaza and escalating tensions with Hezbollah. Recent exchanges of fire with Hezbollah have stoked fears of a wider conflict. Gallant is slated to meet his U.S. counterpart Lloyd Austin as well as the Secretary of State Anthony Blinken during this trip. In a statement before his visit, Gallant said that he would hold talks on the next phase of the Gaza conflict, which he stressed is of great importance.
I will discuss developments on Gaza front, the Lebanon front, and they have a crucial importance at this time. We are prepared for any action that may be required in Gaza, Lebanon, and in other places as well. The transition to Phase C in Gaza Strip is of great importance. I will discuss this transition with US officials on how it may be enable additional things, and I know that we will achieve close cooperation between Israel and the US on this issue as well.
The Israeli army has struck on Hezbollah targets in various areas of southern Lebanon amid concerns of further cross-border escalations. The army released a video on Saturday showing the troops targeting an observation post as well as a military structure in a Lebanese village of Yarawan. According to the military, terrorists were operating from both these buildings. Hezbollah has been trading fire with Israel for more than 8 months in parallel with the Hamas conflict. Protesters took to the streets in Tel Aviv in Israel on Saturday, calling for the release of hostages held by Hamas. Israel's ground and air campaign in Gaza was triggered when Hamas stormed into southern Israel on October 7, killing several people and seizing more than 250 people as hostage. The U.S. Central Command deployed 3 Houthi uncrewed surface vessels in the Red Sea in the past 24 hours. The U.S. force added that the Houthis also launched 3 anti-ship ballistic missiles into the Gulf of Aden, but there were no injuries or significant damage. The U.S. Military Central Command also dismissed as categorically false recent claims about a successful attack by Houthi forces on the aircraft carrier Dwight Eisenhower. The Indian Army has received its first set of skin from donors for its first skin bank. In a unique feat, the Indian Army announced last week about the opening of a state-of-the-art skin bank facility at the Army Hospital in New Delhi. The facility offers the latest modern treatment for severe burn injuries received by armed forces personnel and their families. This is the first of its kind to be established within the Armed Forces Medical Services, and the Army believes that more awareness of skin donation must be created in the country to bridge the demand and supply gap. The head of plastic surgery, Brigadier Sanjay Maurya, urged people to donate skin just the way that they donate other organs.
फर्स्ट डोनर हमको 29 ऑफ मई को हमने पहला ऑर्गन डोनेशन स्किन डोनेशन यहाँ रिसीव किया था, जो अभी प्रोसेस में है, और उसका थर्ड फेज़ आज कंप्लीट हुआ है और वो भी क्वालिटी चेक में है, जिसके और उसमें 2 हफ्ता लगेगा। वंस वी रियलाइज़ कि वो ठीक है तो हमारे वो ट्रांसप्लांट के लिए फिट डिक्लेयर होगा और उसको हम यूज़ कर सकेंगे। स्किन डोनेशन से भी बहुत सारे लोगों की जान बचाई जा सकती है जो हमारे पास जल के आते हैं, जिनके पास हमारे पास अभी कोई जवाब नहीं है। अगर आप लोग इस प्रक्रिया से और इस डोनेशन से आगे बढ़ के आएँ तो मैं आशा करता हूँ कि हम बहुत सारे जवान जिनकी जलने की वजह से जान चली जाती है उनको हम बचा सकेंगे।
Some sports news now. Switzerland faced Germany in the UEFA Euro 2024 on Sunday. Looking to book their place in the round of 16 of the competition, Germany are already through to the knockout stages. Germany built on their 5-1 win over Scotland in the tournament's opening game with a 2-0 defeat of Hungary that saw them secure progress to the knockout stages with a game to spare. On 3 of the 4 previous occasions on which Germany have started a Euro with 2 wins or from 2, they have gone on to be crowned European champions. And with a deep run into the tournament in mind, Nagelsmann could be tempted to make good use of his squad. Switzerland have avoided defeat to Germany in their last 3 contests, and a point for Murat Lakin's team will see them join the opponents in the round of 16 while confirming the hosts as the winners of Group A. We're still with football in the Euro 2024, and Belgium secured a 2-0 win over Romania in an incredible action-packed game on Saturday that set up a final round showdown with the 4 teams in Group E on the 3 points. So Belgium were under pressure in Group E after losing their opening game to Slovakia, but responded with an outstanding attacking display to illustrate exactly why they are rated among the favourites in Germany In a magnificent, colourful atmosphere, Yuri Telemans' low drive put them ahead after 73 minutes, setting the platform for Belgium to create a host of chances. Belgium now have a chance to secure a place in the last 16 when they face Ukraine in their final game on Wednesday. The International Olympic Day is observed on June 23 every year, and the day celebrates the foundation of the International Olympic Committee, promoting sports, unifying power, as well as healthy living and global camaraderie. Let's look at this report.
Ahead of the upcoming Paris Olympics that begin from 26th of July, the world is celebrating International Olympic Day today. This day holds a special place in the hearts of sports enthusiasts worldwide. This momentous occasion commemorates the founding of the International Olympic Committee on 23 June 1894 at the Sorbonne in Paris, serving as a reminder of the unifying power of sports. The day was established by International Olympic Committee in 1948 to encourage individuals from all walks of life to embrace the Olympic values of excellence, friendship, and respect. The theme for International Olympic Day 2024 is Let's Move and Celebrate. Inspired by the Olympic spirit of movement, this theme encourages people to find ways to move and celebrate their joy of movement. It emphasizes on the importance of physical activity and healthy living while also highlighting the role of sports in promoting peace and development. This big day also provides a platform to inspire young athletes and celebrate their achievements. It also serves as a reminder that sports can empower individuals, instill discipline, and promote teamwork. By showcasing the success stories of Olympic athletes, this day encourages young people to pursue their sporting dreams and strive for excellence. Sports Desk, DD India.
Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screen to download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn. From all of us here in Delhi, thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.